Okay, I think we're about to finish the gameplay. Now we just need to make it so that when we start a game, when we click, it'll expand, it'll collect all the cells, kind of like how I described in Inkscape. It'll collect, when I click here, it will get all the cells around it, and then wherever there's a 0, it will get all the cells around those zeros, those empty cells as well. So it would get all these if I clicked here. So we're going to make that algorithm now. Alright, we need another function. Okay, this one I'm going to call reveal. Reveal networked cells. The idea here is that there are certain cells that are all within the same network, that are all connected by empty cells, or at least adjacent to the one you clicked. I do need to specify which row and column I'm in, and yeah, that should work. I need to keep a list of my network, and inside of here, when I click a cell, I'm going to say, okay, this is my network. So add to the network the cell I just clicked. So it is going to go there. The first cell that I click, I want to grab everything around it no matter what. So I'm going to say let first equals true. And so I know that this is the first thing I clicked in the network. That's the only thing in the network at first. And the value of first is set to true, so I know that this is the first cell that I'm checking. So while network.length is greater than 0, we are going to check to see if we should. We're going to check everything around it, basically, or check what it is and check around it if it's the idea here is that the first cell I click, no matter what, I'm going to get all the cells around it after, and those will be added to the network. So these are all added to the network, and then I go through and I check, is it a number? If it's a number, I just reveal it. But if it's a 0, then I'm going to get all the values around it. And if there's another 0, I'm going to get all the values around it. And if there's another 0, all the values around it. So that's what I need to do now. I'm going to put things into the network, reveal them. Well, then everything that's in the network I'm going to check. It gets revealed if it's not a bomb. And if it's a 0, I will add everything around it to the network as well. So I'll have to go through and check everything. So as long as the network isn't empty, it's going to keep checking things in the network. So the first thing in the network is the one I clicked, and it's going to check that. But it's going to grab everything around it too. So let's start with that. Let current cell equal network.pop. So what does that do? It says the current cell, take one thing out of the network, remove it, but keep it stored in memory as current cell. So whatever's in the network, right now there's only one thing. That's my current cell. Pop not only gives you that, but it also removes it from the network. So take it out of the network and work with it. So that's what we're doing. So whatever I clicked, that goes in the network. And then while there are things in the network, pop something out of it, and let's do some work on that. So what do? We're going to unmask it. So mask current cell 0, current cell 1. So get that, so go to the mask, get the coordinates of the cell, and set it equal to 1. Now it's revealed. So the cell I clicked is revealed. The cell I'm working on is revealed. Is that what I want to do? Well, let me just get it and then we'll tweak it if I have to. Okay, so if the field value for that current cell, so field current cell 0, current cell 1, if that value is a 0, or if this is the first cell I'm looking at, so if the first cell I click is not a 0, then I'm going to grab everything around it. So if that's true, first equals false, and so now it's no longer the first time around. And then I'm going to check everything around it. So I'm going to say let around equal. I'm going to make a list, and in this list I'm going to have 8 things. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just 8 values. I'm going to check the thing to the left and above. I'm going to check the thing to the left. I'm going to check the thing, actually this is above and to the left. Above and to the right, to the left, to the right, and then below to the left, below, and below and to the right. So these are the displacements from my current position. Then I'm going to say for let neighbor of around, so for everything in my around list, I'm going to say let I'll say, I guess I'll say let x equal, actually this will be y. Let y equal neighbor, well let me do it so it's not as confusing to you. I'll call this row. I'll call this row. We're using R up here, but here's going to be row. Let neighbor, let row equal neighbor 0. I'm sorry, current cell 0 plus neighbor 0. And let column equal current cell 1 plus neighbor, keep putting a T in there, neighbor 1. That should be good. Alright, then I want to see if, so one problem here is as I go through the network, it's going to go kind of out of control, adding things to the network. So if I click here, I'm going to add all the cells around here. So I'm going to get this cell, this cell, this cell. Then if I click, and then this is a 0, so then it's going to add the cells around it, which includes this cell and this cell again. So I don't want to keep adding the same cells over and over again to the network. So before I add things to the network, I want to make sure they're not already in the network. Because if they're already in there, I don't want to check the same cell 100 times. And it keeps getting added again because it's neighboring to other cells. Like, I mean, this cell will add this cell will add this cell. You know, I don't want it to keep doing that. So I don't want to add things unless they're not in the list already. So I need to check to see that, first of all, that the neighbor is, like we did up here, we need to make sure that the neighbor is within the grid. That's the first thing we need to check. And then we need to check if it's in the network. So I'm going to check to see that it's in the grid first. So if row is greater than, in this case, -1, so as long as you're 0 or above, and row is less than the dimensions, and column is greater than -1, and column is less than the dimensions, then we will check to see if it's already added to the network. So let included equals false. And for let cell of network, we're just going to make sure that each cell in the network doesn't match the one we already have. So if cell 0 is equal to current cell 0, and cell 1 is equal to current cell 1, then we're going to say included equals true. So check every cell in the network. If it's the same as the current cell, it's included. Otherwise, it stays false and it's not included. But if any of them matches, it becomes included. Or included becomes true. Now we're going to say if it's not included, so exclamation point included, if it's not included and we haven't already revealed it, so mask current cell 0, current cell 1. As long as the mask isn't, so if it's not included, or if it's revealed, then we'll say, then what do we want to do? We want to add it to the network if it's not a bomb. So let's just make sure it's not a bomb. Field current cell 0, current cell 1, that's the value. So if this is not equal to -1, we're going to say network.push current cell. I think that'll do it. I think so. Let's see what it does. All right, click it. Oh, so our click doesn't call this thing. So we now have a new function called reveal network cells. So where's my on click? Populate, handle click. This is what we want to do. So I think I want to replace this with reveal network cells row column. And I think it broke. Okay, populate needs to change. I know that. Populate. Yeah. Do that. Make field. Yeah. Draw state. Let's see. Reveal network cells. Row column. Stop this. What happened? 5. I'm not sure. It'll break again, but let me try. Boom. Why? Okay. These are looking okay. Everything looks okay, but something broke now. So, what is going on? So a loop is breaking. So let's see, I click, it calls populate. Populate should work. So it should lay the bomb and then reveal network cells for that row and column. And that should draw the state and switch the event handler to handle click, which is now just going to reveal the cells, reveal network cells, and draw the state. So they basically do the same thing, except populate creates the field in the bombs before it does this. So let's say, yeah, that's okay. Check neighbors, that works. Make field, that works. This thing must be the problem. So as long as the network length is greater than 0, and this is the first time we cycle through, we set the current cell, we unmask that cell, we then check to see that it's a 0 or the first cell. We set the first to false, so we're no longer going to do that after the first one. We need to check all the positions around the cell. Did I do those right? I think so. And then for each of those neighbors of around, we will set the row equal to yeah, 0 and neighbor 0, okay. And column equals current cell 1 and that, okay. That looks okay to me. And then if the row is greater than -1, and the column is greater than -1, and the row is less than dimensions, and the column is less than dimensions, that should be okay. We set included to false for each cell of network. If the cell is the same as the current cell, then it's included. And then only if it's not included, or I know, I need parentheses here. If it's not included or not revealed, then show it as long as it's not a bomb. Is that good? Maybe? It's not working. Does it break? Didn't it break? Okay. It says we add it to the network, we pop that out of the network. we add things to the network. Included. Okay, I'm going to pause it and look for my error. Everything looks fine to me, but I'm not sure. Alright, I may have found it. I think here, when I say current cell, I don't want the current cell because that's already unmasked. And it's already went into the network and we popped it out. We want to check the neighbor. So we want to use row here and column. And maybe still no. Does it break? Alright, that's okay. And I think also here we want to use row and column, and here I want to use row and column. Still not quite right. And then we don't want to push the current cell, we want to push row column. Better, but not quite right. Boom. Oh, maybe it is right. Well, it can't be because that last one was really messed up. Boom. Oops. Okay. These both must be bombs. Okay. Not bad. I'm really good at this game. Yeah. Okay, let's try that again. 12. Click. Not bad. Okay. Boom. 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 Dang it. Okay. Oh, those are... Okay, well, whatever. He's doing okay. Maybe it is working. Let me go back to smaller one. Boom. Yeah, I think that's working. Oh, okay. There we go. These are bombs. All right. So that more or less covers it. There were a few things I said we would go back and look at. I'm forgetting what those were at the moment. Oh, yeah. Maybe we could change the size of the grid, so this whole box. Right now the boxes just get bigger or larger depending on what you pick for the dimensions. We could change this box, of course. But I think this is okay. So that concludes Minesweeper. I think that's it. Yeah, there's got to be 5 of them. So, all right. I hope that was okay, that you could follow through that. And now you guys will have your own short game to try to do. Connect 4, I think, was an example I suggested. I think grid-based isn't bad. Next, though, for our guided projects, we'll be moving on to games. I think Snake will be the next one. That run all the time to see if... so like Snake, you don't press anything and the snake keeps moving. Now we'll be moving on to games that progress even without user input. the user input just changes the way the game is progressing, but it will always progress even when you're not pressing things. So that'll be next. All right.